Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for checking out my video. My name is Josh, and I hope everyone's doing well in this crazy virus climate situation. I know, it's affecting everyone differently, and hope everyone's getting by okay. And wanted to shoot this video on a little update on my truck and the build while I was camping and adventuring, but haven't really been able to do that. It doesn't look like it will be doing that anytime in the immediate future or near future. So I'm shooting this video out on our ranch. This is actually a property that sits adjacent to us, and which is, I think, for sale. So if anyone wants to be my neighbor, let me know. But anyway, you can probably see my dog walking around in the background or whatever. This is my 2019 Tacoma TRD off-road that I purchased in December of 2018, and started having a lot of ideas for what I wanted to do to it. At the time, I still lived in Atlanta, and now I'm in Southern Colorado, so my environment was also going to change, and I'm kind of glad I waited on doing any serious modifications. The only thing I'd done at that point was, the Diamondback bed cover, some racks, my rooftop tent, just little stuff like that. Nothing major to the truck. So I was looking at modifying it, and fortunately I was able to connect with some really smart, experienced guys in the industry. Eric and Jay at State 48 Overland, Ben at Arizona Toy Pros. These guys were all down in like the Tempe, Scottsdale, Phoenix area down in Arizona. And I did drive out there a couple of months ago, but this build started over a year ago, working with them, talking and learning about suspension setups and tire sizes, bumper sliders, all that fun stuff. So I went ahead and kind of started initially mapping out what I wanted, but then it kind of evolved into something completely different. And so I'm going to just talk about some of the things that are on here, and then I'll probably do a second video on just the suspension and tire setup, the cab mount shop, that kind of stuff for those that are interested. So if you want to see that, definitely hit the subscribe button down below, and if you hit the notification bell, that'll notify you when I upload another video. So I really appreciate the video the views and the likes and the subscriptions. It means a lot to me. I've really been able to make a lot of personal connections with people through YouTube and Instagram. It's just really, really neat to, make new friends and learn about other people's, interests and hobbies and their builds, and follow how their builds coming together. So I really enjoy that. So definitely, if you're on Instagram, you can check me out if you feel like it, and yeah, we can follow each other. So yeah, we started mapping it out. I originally was going to go with the Icon suspension setup, and I didn't have an idea yet for bumpers and sliders, but looking around, there's the popular brands and CBI and different things like that. But I really leaned on a lot of conversations and emails back and forth and texts and sending photos to Eric and stuff, going like, I like this, but really it came down to at the end was, well, what are you doing? What are you carrying? What kind of weight are you going to be, carrying on the back, that kind of thing. And so through all of that, we kind of ended up with what we see here today so far. So up front, we went with a Demello off-road steel bumper. They have aluminum and steel bumpers, and I wanted a steel bumper just to have that extra security, I guess. And so far, it's already proven itself worthy. Took a nice hit to the front of it. I actually noticed just while getting ready to shoot this video that it actually tweaked my light a little bit back, so I'm gonna have to adjust that. But it was going down the highway. I was in Florida a few weeks ago, well, probably about a month ago now. I was heading to the Okeechobee Music Festival. Hence the festival attire. And on the way down there, hit a steel radial retread, like a tractor trailer retread. And the car in front of me and the car behind me also hit it, and I didn't see the damage. I know I did some damage to the car in front. He pulled over, but behind me in my rear view just blew the front bumper right off the car, shattered one of the headlights. It was like a Honda Accord, and it just pieces are flying everywhere. And it hit me second, and it went underneath my truck and then hit him. So it didn't do any damage, but if I had my factory bumper on here, it definitely probably would have destroyed it and would have had it, had it fixed under insurance. I did notice that it maybe tweaked the light and the bracket back a little bit, so I'm gonna have to take a look at that at some point. But yeah, went with the Demello off-road steel bumper. And you know, some of the things you're gonna want to think about when you do bumper changes or grill changes is if you have a TSS sensor, where that sits so that's not going to get blocked by anything, and also having it recalibrated once you've finished adjusting the height of your truck, whether you're going to do, or Forerunner or whatever it is, if you're changing your suspension height too, because the TSS works with the sensor in the front and the one in the windshield and kind of works together for, you know, your adaptive cruise control and your safety features. So as far as lights, we went with Baja designs all the way around. Every light on the front that's installed so far is Baja designs. On the front, went with a 30-inch S8 light bar. And then on the sides for the fog light replacements, went with the sports. I think they're the Squadron sports. These are not the street legal version. They do sell one. These are just the regular, you know, off-road. These are wired directly into my fog switch, so that still works like factory. And everything else is wired into a S-Pod, a Bantam S-Pod system with a touch screen in the cab. And then I also have a Bluetooth app on my phone. I can control the lights, which is really cool. So that's the bumper, the lights in the bumper, the S8, the sports. Down below, we went with RCI for the skid, and I have some more skids I need to still, you know, purchase and put on. But you know, as far as like primary coverage for the oil pan and all that fun stuff, and the front transfer case, but I'd like to do some more armor underneath, and you know, that's something I still need to do. As far as the winch, there is a Smittybilt XO, which is a 10,000 pound synthetic line. The box for the control box is mounted vertically, so if my wireless remote dies, I can plug directly in through the top pretty easily, but it also sits up high enough to kind of stay out of any, like, you know, moisture going through lakes or rivers, or lakes, yeah, but like rivers or you know, creek bed crossings, that kind of thing. And it is waterproof resistant, but still try to put it somewhere where it was like nice and out of the way. So yeah, that sits behind the bumper. It's actually mounted on the inside. Went with a factor 55 fair lead, and as well as a factor 55 ultra hook. The ultra hook's kind of cool. You can do your traditional, your conventional, you know, winching, as well as the open hook with a locking pin. So you get that extra layer of security and I guess and just safety. So me being, you know, new to a lot of off-roading, I've built cars and stuff like that, but off-roading is a totally different ballgame. And then, you know, you go into the recovery department. I didn't really want to cheap out on anything as it pertains to recovery. I do have Max Tracks. I know a lot of people, you know, kind of have different philosophies about what things cost. But if I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling by myself, where I, you know, I'm going to be relying on myself to recover, I just wanted the best available to me in the safety department. So having the shackle, you know, the conventional shackle mount on the end here, and then also the open hook, gives me basically flexibility to do either and be very safe doing so. So if there's any area that you're going to cheap out, I recommend not doing it with the safety recovery gear. But that's just my 2 cents. You know, everyone's got different philosophies and budget. So yeah, that pretty much covers the front end. The grill, I've made a video on this before. You can check it out. I'll have it linked down below. This is kind of like the Raptor light with the TRD Pro grill that I did, and I picked this up from the guys at Running for Tacos. I think their YouTube channel is Taco Twans. I really enjoy their content, so they sell a lot of different products, and that's where I got that. And that was just because I didn't like the chicken grill kind of thing. It just kind of, I don't like chrome on the truck either, so I just wanted to, you know, swap it out with something that was a little muted, and I like this grill. So yeah, so moving up to the front, actually what I'll do is I'll move the camera, and we can get some shots a little closer and talk about some of the rest of the lights and the sliders. For sliders, also went with Demello Off-Road. These are the Stealth series with the kick out. And they're 2 by 2.1 inch steel tubing down below. They're bolted in, they're not welded. So, you know, from what I understand, I mean, obviously going welded sliders is going to be a much stronger mounting system, but for, you know, for the stuff that I do, I don't think I'd ever get to the point where that would be like a requirement. So mine are just the bolt-in kind. I think it's 4 bolts on each side, and it's the DOM, which was something like drawn over mandrel, I think, is the type of process for making these. But according to, you know, I mean, most companies who are making sliders, they're really strong. They're there to protect the underbody of the vehicle, and also be used as a tool. So as you're going around, you know, rocks and things, you can kind of use it to help you pivot around safely without damaging the cab of the truck, as well as giving you a nice clearance. You know, because before I had the Predators running boards on here, and they were really just steps, but they kind of hindered my clearance because they hung down probably like 5 or so inches, maybe 6 inches from the bottom of the truck, and that was kind of annoying because even I'm going over, you know, like obstacles that weren't even super challenging, I'd still scrape really bad because those steps would hang down so far. So I really like having that full clearance now. The truck is also lifted, of course, but you know, having these on here it just gives me a little bit more peace of mind when I'm kind of going over those types of obstacles. Great to have the kickouts for me. It gives a little extra protection from other vehicles and parking lots and stuff, and having doors come up, you know, swing open and hit like the door, they're going to hit the side of this first. And this also gives me a nice big step to get up, so I can easily access everything on the top, whether I want to get to my Max Tracks, on the other side, get into my Pelican case, or when I'm putting the cover on or taking it off on my rooftop tent, it just gives me a lot easier, you know, access to everything. And so I like having it kick out a little bit more. It just gives me a little bit more surface area to step onto. So originally I was just gonna do sliders to start, and I think that'd still be a great modification if you're going to do things like one at a time. Is if you have the side steps, go ahead and get rid of those and get yourself a good set of sliders, which is going to give you a lot of protection that you're going to want, even on a factory ride height, to go out and enjoy yourself and have a good time without worrying about damaging anything. And you know, it just gives you some added assurance. Tires and sliders are kind of like, I don't know, the #1 thing to upgrade if you're wanting to have more capability in going off-roading or overlanding or whatever it is you want to do to get out and explore. You don't have to go full ham. But this, again, was over a year of planning and did it all in 3 days. So I kind of just went from totally stock to what you see right now in 1 week. So there's definitely a lot more to the truck that I've done that you can probably visually see, and I'm going to cover that in another part 2 video, or like an update video, just so these videos aren't super long. I am also trying out some racks, because people have been asking me about these from Pack Racks. I'm working with Greg to try a set of racks that work with the Diamondback bed cover, so that you can still open the covers when you don't have a tent on without having to take the racks off, and giving me additional height on the back, so I have room between the top of the bed cover and the bottom of the tent to store things like my chairs and a 10x10 easy up and all that other stuff, so I can free up room in the back for things that I want to keep locked up. But again, we're testing that out. Not gonna talk too much about that right now, but I've been getting questions from people on Instagram about these racks. So I just want to let you know, once we kind of get totally solidified on the design and everything else, then I'll kind of mention that some more. So yeah, I'll do another video on the suspension and a little bit on the interior of the truck. So if you want to see that, definitely hit the like button. Any questions, definitely comment down below. Do my best to answer questions as well. Next video on this update truck, I'll go over the suspension, tires, and everything else, because that's kind of probably another 10 or 15-minute video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope everyone's doing well. I know we can't really get out and explore right now, depending upon where you are. Maybe you can, but I just wanted to maybe provide some entertainment and make your weekend a little less boring. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Instagram. Also, all the links to the products will be down in the description as well. And yeah, until next time, catch you guys later.
Colorado, bring it here to Arizona, FTE. Oh, snap. He had a 2 on it. He had 2 with MPH. A 2 MPH still good. I mean, like Lucas roll. I keep my mind on, though you never find me broken. Woo me, and nigga living life like a G. And they all artillery, keeping niggas over me. I can't sleep, living in these wicked times. Niggas after me, cause they see I'm stacking G's and P's.